Hi, my name is Porshani and I'm from BADC 6C. Let me give you some context here. Singapore has such a high diversity of food and culture. The ethnographic contributions of Chinese traditional kuehs came all the way early in the 20th century from people of different dialect groups. Hokkien, Teochew, Hakka, Cantonese, and even Hainanese. With the ever-changing foodscape of Singapore's food industry, the art of making traditional Chinese kuehs is diminishing. What was once a staple has now been viewed differently in the youth's aesthetic, brand-centric eyes. As traditional foods are a form of heritage, the preservation and appreciation of traditional Chinese kuehs are essential in today's millennials and even Gen Zs. Thus, this leads me to the exploration on the physical appreciation of Teochew kuehs through the object-centered model of appreciation. I've approached this design issue through the framework of this object-centered model of food appreciation: intentionality, historicity, normativity, authenticity, appropriation, and meaning. This led to 4 different approaches to lead towards the goal of physical appreciation of Teochew kuehs. Let me talk about my target audience. My initial research was conducted on Gen Zs. However, during the execution of my design process, I realized that more millennials are interested in this project compared to Gen Zs. My final target audience were people who are interested in the learning and the making of kuehs within the age range of millennials and Gen Zs. Let's talk about the deliverables. First, I've created a brand called AhMah's Legacy, which talks about continuing the traits and appreciating the food through the 6 steps of object-centered model of appreciation. Using these 6 steps, AhMah's Legacy brings forth the appreciation of food through the visual aspects of making. Throughout this entire process, the language that is used is often about how it is formed, how the texture is like, backing it up with history and memory from my grandma, and therefore coining the name AhMah's Legacy. I'll talk about my workshop. The strategy I have with the workshop was to educate and inspire the millennials and Gen Zs that sign up for this workshop. I designed this workshop to be through the eyes of my grandma, and I wanted to convey that same understanding and language to my students. The workshop was kept at a maximum of 5 people to stimulate this common family size of the past. I taught the students the Aga-Aga method, which is to do things without measurement. I've broken down the workshop to the most traditional method that my AhMah has taught me, because that is the way that people did it in the past, and I wanted to create that connection between those who make kuehs in the past and also to the millennials, to let them understand the hard labor and efforts needed to create that one piece of kueh on the table. This brings forth the second deliverable, the kit. So I've created 2 kits, the Soon Kueh Take Home Kit and the Peng Kueh Take Home Kit. Firstly, it is poppy, it's fresh, it excites millennials and Gen Zs because it is light-hearted. It's not true sepia-toned graininess. It is bringing a fresh perspective to something that's traditional. I made it more abstract, organic-looking lines throughout my entire design language. Everything that is there inside the kit are all hand vacuum sealed, hand chopped, hand weighed, and there's 0 machine processors behind it. The users are unable to see how does it look physically. So therefore, I've illustrated the ingredients in a woodcut design, as you can see here. Inside my guide, I gave the science behind the food itself and why were things made the way it is, part of the appropriation and the meaning of the food. The kit is designed to look like a PR kit. It is packaged nicely with a unicard sleeve, a summary of what the kit entails, and also what the brand motto is. A thank you card, thank the users for purchasing this kit. The third deliverable was the Atlas of Kuehs. It is different because it's not through the making, but it's through the act of supporting local kueh makers. This is the Atlas of Kuehs. So, the Atlas of Kuehs serves as a simple guide to take the user around Singapore to explore the best kuehs in Singapore. Everyone in Singapore is a foodie, be it their opinion of what is the best for each type of food. Why stop at chicken rice? This atlas is created to narrow down what are the current shops in Singapore that has earned their place as the household names in their respective regions. In the Atlas of Kuehs, there is a map that is showcased and different points stated in different pages to talk about what are the shops, names, the address, summarized reviews. The Atlas of Kuehs urges millennials or Gen Zs to explore and locate and also embrace Singaporean traditional culture by supporting the local food stores. The Atlas of Kuehs is palm sized. When they go out using this as a guide, they are able to check off the places that they've been to through the checklist. This serves as a sense of accomplishment when they are able to visit these shops and appreciate the differences between each kueh makers. Fourth is the website. I've created this website as a form of an infographic for users, even people who are just interested in understanding what kuehs are. The physical appreciation of kuehs does not stop at just eating the kueh. it comes to the understanding of the historicity, the meaning, adaptation it has made in our Singaporean society. I've created this website that narrows down the 4 main ways that we see in Singapore. This allows people to start at an even ground. All of the people who read this website are able to understand better what is kueh. One of the deliverables I've created was a flipbook. Serves as a visual stimulant of constantly eating and eating kuehs. And I wanted to showcase how the insides of the kuehs look like through the flipping of the book. It's an interactive book that allows you to flip through. I wanted this book to be a representation of eating a delicious kueh, because you cannot stop eating. Let me proceed on to the user testing. After receiving responses via the surveys that I added at the end of each workshop, and also after they finished using the kit, it's evident that the Gen Zs have a different perspective compared to the millennials. I was able to find out that they do not see the value of making these kuehs as compared to the millennials who grew up with kuehs as their childhood snack. They themselves see the rise and fall of kueh shops. They miss that flavor of what their grandmother made for them. So after testing with the target audience, I concluded that not only the physical appreciation of Teochew kuehs is enough to spark a drive to make or to even find out about stories. Cross-referencing my research, the percentage of influence dictating food choices of children are 32% by parents, 31% by peers, 6% by friends, and 24% influenced by price and marketing factors. The object-centered model of appreciation highlights the 2 factors, appropriation and meaning, which are the context of which the food is placed in regards to one's memory. So if an individual does not have much of a connection with the food itself, they are unable to create a connection between physical appreciation and the mental appreciation. My initial work was centralized around Gen Zs because they have less of a connection between them and the kuehs itself. Therefore, my role as a Gen Z who has that connection with my grandma, I am able to value add to the Gen Zs. However, due to the COVID-19 situation, I was unable to work with schools and I was rejected due to safety policies. When I came back from my reservice after week 12, it was right before the circuit breaker. I was unable to go out and print, unable to get the boxes I needed because most of my products I've sold to the students of my workshop and I'm left with no boxes and no stickers and no uni cards. Therefore, whatever you see here is digital imaging. Through the understanding of the pain and the efforts needed, people can appreciate the food more and more. It is why food critics are majority chefs, because they appreciate processes behind it. Thank you so much for listening to my project.